Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Parsha Noach. Maamin ve'ino Maamin, Part 2. We discussed the idea that, according to Rashi, Noach was a Maamin ve'ino Maamin. He believed in the flood, but somehow, on some level, deep down, he didn't believe God's really going to do it. He built the ark, of course, Noach, but somehow, it could be he didn't even realize it, that he just couldn't believe God would do it on some level. He had a conviction he wouldn't do it until he was mamash forced in. We can ask a question. What was so bad? Why didn't he go in? It's a very good possibility he didn't go in, as Rashi, a few psukim later, says that first the rain came down slowly. And God said maybe if they do Teshuva, it will just be a shower, rain, and it won't be a flood. So maybe Noach was outside waiting to see if they do Teshuva. So of course he believed God will possibly destroy them, but God also will have mercy. And if they do Teshuva, he won't bring the rain, he won't bring the flood. And that's exactly what Rashi says a few psukim later, that first it started off like rain and not a flood. So Noach was waiting outside to see it. Sounds like it's a legitimate reason to delay. The answer is it sounds very legitimate, except for one problem. Perek Zayin is Maamin ve'ino Maamin. Perek Zayin Pasuk Aleph reads very simply. God told him in Pasuk Aleph, go into the Taiva. So the fact is, once God tells him to go, there's nothing to discuss. He could go into the Taiva, he could daven there, he could cry to Hashem, he could hope for the best. But you can't start going ahead and hoping for the people, davening for the people, sympathizing with the people, empathizing, whatever you may do, outside of the Taiva, as the water is rising, because God told you to go in a few minutes earlier. And to go ahead and delay it is simply violating God's command. And even if he delayed it to daven, to cry, to sympathize with the people, empathize with the people, the motivation might be very, very nice. But the bottom line is, God tells you to do a mitzvah, you follow the mitzvah, you follow the halacha, nekudah. And then, of course, once Hashem gives the halacha and you follow it, then nishma, after the naseh, you have the nishma, you should look, you should analyze, you should dig deeper into the halacha, deeper into the hashkafa. But that's only after the naseh. So Noach, it could be, had very good reason and motivation to stay outside and wait and hope for the best. And thinking that maybe God won't do it. So yes, to have the conviction going that that's wrong, but to hope and pray, that'd be fine. But that's only if he follows Hashem's rules precisely. And of course the message is loud and clear for all of us. We have the halachot, we follow them precisely, and then we could try to go ahead and reach higher and higher spiritual levels through the observance and through the analysis of the mitzvot. Shalom.